What is going on, guys? Newton here with Remote Play, bringing you a guide for Witch Doctors for patch 2.3 or Season 4. Now, I know Season 4 has been underway for a little bit of time now, but usually this is about the point where, especially in my clan, I've noticed, or me myself, people want to start rolling new characters and other things like that, trying other things other than their main class that they've been pushing greater rifts and other stuff like that for pretty much the season as it goes now. Now, we're gonna go ahead and Witch Doctor is not my main. This is kind of a quick start guide to kind of show you guys how to build your Witch Doctor, what you kind of really need, what skills you should be using, and how to get yourself, to the point of being ready to speedrun those T8s or those T10 rifts with a group, and even start pushing greater rifts if you choose to. Now, this build is it's not fully complete yet. It is kind of a quick start guide to kind of show you how to get ready and what you kind of need to be ready to start speedrunning those T8s. Now, this build does work really great in T8. I've been able to solo T10 as well pretty efficiently, but it's not about how efficiently you can solo it. It's really about how fast you can solo it. Now, T10 is still a little bit slow, and I would recommend running this build or kind of running the point of an early Witch Doctor with a group. But either way, Witch Doctors make a very valuable asset to groups and parties. As for solo play, they are also fantastic, but at this point, you'll kind of be ready for T8 to kind of solo and run it very, very quickly. T10, kind of run it with some groups until you get a little bit more geared, until you can get some really nice rolls on your gear, and in no time, you should really be ready to kind of push your Witch Doctor as far as it can possibly go. So, before we get into things, we'll kind of show you the skills that we're running. As for our primary here, we have Corpse Spiders with Blazing Spiders. Now, I've seen people run Spider Queen. That works very well too, but this is kind of the one I like. This is the one I'm rolling with. Now, we have Acid Cloud with Shadow Burn. We have Soul Harvest with Languish. We have Spirit Walk with John. Wall of Death with Firewall, which is kind of one of your main skills, your main damage output, along with Piranhados for that great CC. To help you even solo or with parties. Piranhados is a great asset to parties. I gotta say, I love when I have a Witch Doctor in my group. When I'm rolling with my monk, they group everything up. I one-shot them. It's just beautiful. So, always go with Piranhados because it's fantastic. It's absolutely great. As for passive skills, we have the Spirit Vessel. This is will help you out by reducing the cooldown of your spells. Now, reducing cooldowns, you kind of want to be able to spam them because you are doing a lot of CC for yourself and for the group, so you can lay it down your dots, your AoE effects to kind of stack that damage, which is super important. Next, we have Grave Injustice. We gain 1% life and mana when you reduce the cooldown of all your skills when enemies dies. Once again, reducing those cooldowns of those skills, which is super duper helpful. Now we do an additional 25% damage. This is a kind of a damage enhancement. Very straightforward. Once again, not a bad kind of a passive skill to run with. Everyone loves damage enhancement. And this is increases your pets and gain 100% physical and basically elemental resistance for every enemy in 20 yards. Really good for toughness if you're kind of struggling with the elemental resistance and other stuff like that. It's kind of a good passive to roll with if you need that toughness. Really, you can't really go wrong with it, but there are other ones if you kind of want to play around with your build. If you do have the toughness you need, you can play around, but like I said, kind of an early start to Witch Doctors. You want to get going, really want to get the ball rolling and just start running those, speed running those T8s, 35s, and other things like that. This is what you need to get you there. So, we're going to go ahead and jump into our cube. Now, like I said, kind of still building the monk, but this is what you'll, basically, bottom line, is what you're needing to start going. As we have the Ingome, which is going to reduce your cooldowns of your spells by 10 seconds for 15 seconds after killing an elite pack. You're running those greater rifts, you're running 35s or 40s to kind of speed run them for those drops, or you're running with a group. This is a very, very great kind of weapon pass to roll with. You're going to have a lot more spammability, constantly keeping that CC up, which is never a bad thing. I mean, you can't go wrong with it, and it works pretty well. I've had fun with it. And then next we have the Grim Reaper. Now, this is a pretty essential passive that you're going to need for this build. It creates two mimics of your character that's going to cast the spells that you do. So basically, it's like two clones mimicking what you do. Now, this is super duper helpful. It greatly increases the AoE effect of your skills because you cast down that wall of fire. They're going to cast down that wall of fire, and basically there's going to be fire everywhere, stacking that, making a huge AoE, really helping out the area of effect damage and other things like that, which is what the class really relies on. And overall, you don't really have to manage them too much. They just pop up when you cast skills. They'll do their own thing, and it's just fantastic. They work beautifully, and it's great boost to the damage. Now, as for our gear that we're going to need the Helltooth set. Now, just running the full 6 set of this gear will pretty much get you ready as long as you have these skills along with the passives. Now, just getting these will pretty much put you ready for T6. You're gonna get a little bit of rolls, get some decent stuff, and you'll be T8, T10 in no time, just kind of once you build a class a little bit more. As for your bracers, I really suggest the Jerem's bracers. This is going to be a super duper helpful to your build and overall, because it increases the damage of your wall of death, and it also allows you to cast it multiple times before the cooldown is over, so you have like a 2-second window to cast as many as you can, or 3 times I should say, along with your mimics. This makes fire absolutely everywhere with the damage enhancement. Is fantastic. This is where a lot of your damage output is going to be coming from, and if you kind of have this, it's kind of really make your build as a whole. If you're kind of missing this, you can kind of roll the build. Now you won't be ready to push the higher level stuff, but this really does bring it together along with the passive of this helm. Once you have those 2 things, you'll pretty much be at a nearly finished built Witch Doctor. You just got to worry about those rolls. Roll for some damage enhancement on the main skills that you're using, as well as looking for those ancient rolls and other things like that. But generally, if you have those things, you'll be ready to speed run those T8s and those T10s in pretty much no time at all. Now, this isn't a build, or this isn't a guide to show you how to push those great 60 plus greater rifts. This is kind of show you how to basically get the fun going with a Witch Doctor as soon as you hit level 70 or someone helps you out. This is kind of what you need. This is the bare bones essential for running this class. So let's go ahead. I already have a Nephilim Rift open for you guys. I was going to run through it all just to show you guys. I kind of want to get to the end so we can show you kind of how fast this build works and how great the CC works for this class, as well as the damage output and how fast we can kind of burn down the Rift Guardian, because this isn't a very high hitting numbers class. If you're looking for high hitting numbers, I'd suggest you probably go monks, but this is a lot of dots and other things like that, a lot of CC and other things like that, so you won't see very, very high numbers, but there's a constant output of these dots on the ground, and they add up very, very quickly, making it a pretty strong class. Now, you don't see the high numbers, but they do add up very, very quickly. So let's go ahead and go through here, kind of show you how the class works. Now, it's good to put down Piranhados, group them up, place down that wall of fire, get that large AoE going, so everything in the vicinity burns, and as you can see here, getting great AoE out of this. And we're going to place that down, place down our poison on top of them, and as you do this, your mimics will pop up, and they'll basically be mimicking what you do, exactly what they do, making it really, really great. So let's go ahead and cast down our Piranhados, group them all up, get our wall of fire down, spamming that, and we pretty much just demolished that elite pack in no time. Now this is T8, and we are soloing it, but T10 may take a little bit longer, but it is still very, very viable, and you can run T10 pretty early once you get the build rolling. So let's go ahead and group these guys up once again, get that wall of fire down, and basically everything just starts to melt. Now this isn't a one-shot class like monks or other classes. You're not going to be hitting those super high numbers. It does take a little bit of involvement, a little bit of time to kind of kill these enemies, but overall it's a super fun class. And I gotta say, I mean, not that any class isn't really fun, they're all very fun, but this one takes a little bit more work, a little bit more involved with killing the enemies, other than, you know, just running through and one-shotting everything. I mean, burns and the dots is very, very fun, and I've enjoyed playing the class quite a bit. So let's go ahead and keep rolling through. We're almost at the Rift Guarding, shouldn't be too long now. We're gonna go ahead and keep burning these guys down. Like I said, really taking no damage myself, because of the CC is so great with this class. We're keeping those walls of fire down. We're gonna keep the CC up, keeping them in the Piranhados, applying our poison, applying our fire when we can, and basically just keeping those up, and along with our mimics, and you should have no problem just running through these things with great ease. So moving on to the next floor, we should have the Rift Guardian and just probably one more mob. We're at what, 97%? Yeah, maybe a few more mobs and we'll have it. Shouldn't take too much longer. So go ahead and keep rolling through. I'm going to group these guys up, apply our poison, apply our wall of fire just about everywhere we can, and everything should slowly burn to the ground. So now we have the Rift Guardian, no enemies around, so now we can go ahead and burn the Rift Guardian as fast as we possibly can to show you that the damage output, as though the numbers aren't very high, they do add up very, very quickly, and we just demolished the Rift Guardian with pretty much no time. So let's go ahead and collect our rewards. And that was just a very, very quick and easy T8. Now you can push it up to T10. It may take a little bit longer, but the class works just as well as soon as you get things rolling. It doesn't take too much to really get a Witch Doctor going, and it is a ton of fun. Like I said, a little bit more involved class, a great asset to parties, and overall a very, very fun class to play. So if you're looking for something new, you're looking for a different class, you want to know how to build it, and you don't really know how to play other classes aside from your main, Witch Doctors are fun. I'll do other guides and other classes if you guys are interested. And other than that, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. But until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later.